Good morning and welcome to News and Coffee Time, brought to you by Intrieste.com. We'll be reading the headlines of Il Piccolo in English daily, so grab yourself a cup of coffee and follow us along. We're skipping over the national news and are only concentrating on the local Trieste's headlines. We're bringing you local news one day at a time. The front page of Il Piccolo this Thursday, January 13th, reads 200 patients at the emergency room. The emergency room is on the verge of closing down. The head doctor, Cominotto, says we're leaving the perfect storm. Church bells too loud, and they have been confiscated in San Dorligo della Valle. The emergency room is at its limit. 200 people accepted a day, and the head of the emergency room says there are just too many people coming in. We need help. We need more places for COVID people, but the patients coming in, he says, are not only COVID patients, but we're very few because not a lot of staff is either vaccinated or in isolation back home. A very difficult period for the health system of Friuli, Venezia, Giulia. Booster dose has been given to the 40% residents of Friuli, Venezia, Giulia, and vaccinations continue being administered to kids in our region. The police goes back to Lily's apartment, and her husband says that they checked everything from keys to pharmaceuticals present at home, but they still have no clue what happened to Liliana. The woman's gone missing from December 14th and then found dead in San Giovanni. The first the cost per coffee cup is about to rise in our region as well as in the rest of Italy. There are, however, some people who try to resist. San Marcos, Alexandros Della Tanasi says, and the cost of cup of coffee is now almost a year 20, and the clients understood, so this is what we've been charging. Polo Jutz, head of Association Café Trieste, says this is an inevitable tendency, and it also has to do with transport costs. So from €1 per cup, we're now moving up to 120, 110 per cup in Trieste. The debate continues about Porto Vecchio, Punto Franco, and Di Piazza asks for unanimity in votes. 17-year-old who was killed for jealousy reasons, his possible assassin remains in prison. Il Councillor Rossi, who's famous for no Green Pass protests and who is also against all kinds of vaccinations, has been sentenced to 5 months in prison. However, he appealed to let go, and he will need to pay a generous sum to the court of Trieste. Carnival of Muja has been moved to June, from February to June. The postponement is now official, and we're doing this to save the big holiday, say the organizers. Church bells too loud in Sanderligo della Valle, and they have been sequestered and will not be al Parroco Sant'Ulderico, and they have been played too many times, thus they will be taken down. In the culture section of Il Piccolo this Thursday, Rome is the city of dead, ghosts and cheatings in the various writings by Irish poets and writers. Ge pianto un pugno, a phrase written in Triestine dialect by Joyce to Ezra Pound. Civil education and 4 lessons at Liceo Dante. Begins tomorrow with the first lesson. It's going to be sunny and cold today in Trieste with highs in 4 degrees Celsius. This has been News and Coffee Time, brought to you by intrieste.com. We're bringing you local news one day at a time. Thank you for listening.